Hey guys, Chuck here. Got some more information on manifestation. And again, what I'm here for, what my channel is about, is that I see so many people that have so many problems and questions about manifestation. And that's what I'm here to help people with, to understand manifestation and figure out how to make it work for you. I am a certified clinical level hypnotherapist, and I've been working with manifestation, self-hypnosis. I can teach that also, all kinds of things like that. But the first thing you have to know is what is manifestation? I mean, what is it? Is it just creating a thing, an item, whatever it happens to be that you want, money, houses, cars, whatever? I ran across this past week, probably the best description of manifestation that I've heard. It's very simple. It really is. And what it is manifestation is simply desire plus non-resistance, and that equals your desired result. Simple, right? Or to put it in Neville Goddard's terms like that, desire plus non-resistance equals your wish fulfilled. And that's what we're here for, all of us, is to fulfill our wishes, correct? Okay. But first we have to understand what is resistance, right? And really what resistance is anything that holds you back, that gets in your way, that stops you from being able to process for your own manifestation. And I've talked about it before, and I'll probably repeat myself a bunch of times here because it's very important to understand this, and there's always new people coming in. We have this little voice inside of us, getting around to what resistance is. We have this little voice inside of us. It is our inner dialogue. And it is there. It never stops. It's always there. It's always going on. And it's a combination of your belief systems that were programmed into you from the time you were a child. And when we're children, of course, again, up until we're about 7 years old, we work in the theta brainwave pattern. Children do. And that makes us, as children, we were and we are, as the new children come into it, we are an open slate. We are just basically a blank slate, and there is no filter. So anybody, your parents, any kind of a authoritative person that says anything to you, or in front of you, even doesn't have to be said to you. It could be just said to somebody else in front of you. I can remember those a lot when I was a kid. You take it as gospel. I mean, it's true. There is no resistance. There's no feedback. There's no judgment. This is what it is. Right, wrong, indifferent, whatever it happens to be, that's what it is. For example, when you wake up, before you speak, before you're probably 100% conscious that you're awake, before you see anybody, that little voice is talking to you, okay? You get up, you move on with your day. It talks to you all day long. It's there. And then even when you come home at night, you go to bed, it will talk you to sleep. And then it actually talks to you in your dreams. It does. It's that inner voice that is there for you. And it never stops. In fact, if you try to quiet it, if you try to make it quiet down in your mind, guess what that creates? It creates more inner talk. You get to arguing with yourself. I mean, I was always great for having inner arguments with people that weren't really there, or some idea that I had or whatever. Be having an argument. There's nobody else around but you. I mean, that's real intelligent. It's going to accomplish a lot. What reality reads, the real key to the thing is reality reads that conversation, and that's what it creates your life through, is that inner conversation. Most of us don't really even know that we have the inner conversation, and most of us don't hear any of it. It takes some effort and some doing on our own parts, our internal. I know it took me a long time, and I started hearing it many years ago. Didn't know what to do with it then. There wasn't any of this information around. I was reading books, and trying to figure it out. I got into a group years ago of they called it meditation, but it really was self-hypnosis, Silva Mind Control. And they're still around. They're still around today. I think they call themselves Silva Ultramind now. And they're part of the Mind Valley organization, if you know anything about them. But they, like, for example, in your conscious life, you may tell yourself that you're okay. You're doing okay. You're good. And that's in your conscious mind, is out in the real world, out here in the physical world. That's where you're telling yourself this. Well, the programming that runs your life is in your inner world. It's in your unconscious mind, not your conscious mind. The way that this all works, and I've learned a lot of this by the training I've had for hypnosis, even though I'd done a lot of self hypnosis for years before that. Um, that we basically tell ourselves all kinds of things internally. We do. And what you say out loud consciously, it doesn't run your life. You have your conscious mind and you have your unconscious mind. A lot of people refer to it as subconscious. I think that's a misnomer. I think it's your unconscious mind. I really do. Because you're just unconscious of it. You're not aware of it, right? But there's something in between there. It's called the critical factor that is a gatekeeper. So if consciously you want to program yourself, let's say that you're doing affirmations. And affirmations, to me, they've never worked. I've never had affirmations work, and I've tried them a lot. The gatekeeper is like, I don't, no. I've got all this stuff internally here. I know what I'm doing. It's here, and I've got all this programming in here, all of my belief system here, so I'm not going to accept this. So the trick is how do you get that to get into your unconscious mind, and how do you get past the gatekeeper? Well, the best way I've ever found to do that is with hypnosis. Neville had a thing that he did, he called it SATS, a state akin to sleep, which is a hypnagogic state, what they call it, just before you drop off to sleep, when you're not really fully aware of life, what's going on around you, but you're still thinking and you're still aware that you're thinking. And so Neville had a process for doing that to have some type of a little visualization thing that you do just before you go to sleep, drop off to sleep, and that is one way that you can program your mind, because you're dropping back through into that theta brainwave pattern at about that time. And when you first wake up, they call it the hypnopompic state. Same thing happens as you're waking up. The only thing is your inner voice takes over. So you have to override that. You have to be able to override that, or just put it out of the way, stop it, and put in there the thoughts that you want to program yourself with. But again, it's much easier, from what I found out, just to do it through hypnosis. And I'll get into that in a little bit. See, because probably what you're saying to yourself, what a lot of us say to ourselves in our inner conversation, is that it's usually pretty negative. It's like, I don't deserve this, whatever I don't deserve. I can't afford it. And a big one that a lot of people say, and it's something that I used to say, is, I'm just not enough. It's take more than just what I am to create, become a millionaire or whatever it is like that. And you might think, well, why does this always happen to me? I don't have enough time. And that's a big one that people say, there's just not enough hours in the day, right? That's another one. And I'll guarantee you and I have the same amount of hours in the day as Elon Musk. And he's getting ready to send some people to Mars. Go to the moon first and go to Mars. I mean, he's doing a lot with his hours, that's for sure. You might think other people have more advantages than you do. Maybe you feel they're smarter. Maybe they just got lucky. And that's what I used to hear from my father when I was a kid. Is, well, rich people just either they got blind, stumbling lucky, just got real lucky and stumbled into money, or they stole it. He was a big thing about people that were rich were thieves. They ripped off other people. And you can go on and on and on with all of that stuff, and it doesn't really make any difference. Other than all of that stuff that you're saying in there in your inner speech is absolutely what reality, I guess you call it reality, the universe, is creating for you, with you. You're a co-creator. And that inner dialogue is one of the big creation things that we go through. Your outer life is your inner conversation made visible. Think about that for a minute. Your outer life is your inner conversation made visible. What you see in your physical mind, Neville called that the mirror effect, and other people refer to it as a life as a mirror. And so what you're seeing in front of you in your everyday physical world is you're thinking from the past. You're looking at the past in front of you. It's not now, it's the past. And what's going on in your brain right now will be what you see tomorrow. So if your manifestations are not working, look at your outer world. Maybe you can figure out why from that, what it is like that, okay? Neville used to refer to it as the world is you pushed outward. Just what I said. It's your inner dialogue that's made manifest in front of you for your physical world. But again, we as humans, a good portion of us don't even know that we have that inner dialogue, much less understand what it's saying. In fact, I'm not a religious person, but I do use some quotes from the Bible because some of it's pretty good, especially some of the quotes that are attributed to the person that we refer to as Jesus. Wasn't his real name. That was a name that was added in after the fact. But anyway, so we refer to as Jesus so people know who we're talking to. Jesus was asked why he taught in parables. Why do you speak in parables? And he says, "This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand." Just what I said. You have all this stuff going on inside of you. You don't see it. You don't hear it. You see the after effects of it, and you don't understand what's going on in there. I know I didn't for years and years and years. Now, if you want to look that up, that's the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 13, which is kind of interesting, 13:13. I don't know what that has to do with it, but, who knows? Resistance, it can be a lot of different things. Like one of the big things I did years ago was I was being realistic. And resistance can feel just like it's very realistic. You're being realistic. I said, I'm a realist, man. I know how this stuff works. You don't create the stuff by how you think. Yeah, right. That was one of my real negative belief systems I had to get over. You might feel like that even though if you got what you want, you're going to lose something. You got to give something up, right? A lot of people feel like, hey, if I'm real successful with my manifestation, money, whatever it is like that, my friends and family may treat me different. They may look at me different. They may think of me different, or success may come at a cost. Again, it may hurt you. It's like the old adage. I hear this all the time from people that no good deed goes unpunished. What nonsense. I've done a lot of good deeds and never got punished for them. So it's just the same thing. Resistance, it can manifest as an emotional loop. Like I give you an example. Like yesterday, I was working. I like doing physical things. I really do. I'm putting a new roof on a shop building that I built. I didn't like the way the roof was, and it actually leaked after I got done with it. And I live in Arizona where it doesn't rain much, right? But it leaked anyway. And I live northwestern Arizona up here, and we do have a monsoon season. I think starts today, the 15th of June. It's the middle of June, and runs through into September. And we can get some doozy. We can get some real frog stranglers here, even though we don't have frogs. They wouldn't survive here. We have tortoises, but not frogs. And I don't know, for some reason, it was just something was bothering me yesterday. And so I asked myself, okay, what's going on with me? What is this here? And I said, I feel kind of depressed. And when I was younger, I was a very depressed person, almost suicidal for a number of years. And finally got over that. I had help of a PhD level psychologist that I went through for several years. And he really helped me. It's probably one of the main reasons I'm still here. And but there's even a better way to do that. If I'd have known a good hypnotist back then, of course, didn't know anything about it then, I wouldn't have had to go for 2 or 3 years. It'd have been 2 or 3 visits, and I'd have been all better. But anyway, that's just, I said, depressed. I know what depression is. I've dealt with it. I've learned to overcome it. So I said, there's more to it than that. So I said, okay, where is this coming from in me? And this is a good thing for you to do. If you have these feelings, then you don't know where they come from, ask yourself, where is this coming from? And when I do that, a lot of times I get like flashes, I get pictures, I'll get visions, videos, whatever, something that happened, usually when I was a child. Most of it comes up as a child with parents. And that's exactly what came up when I finally said, okay, where's this coming from? And I got this flash of my father saying, life is not fair. It's just never been fair with me. And that's what the feeling that came out of me. I says, life is just not fair with me. And I'm like, come on now, this is ridiculous. I know better than that. That's not me now. I don't feel that way. Well, obviously I still had that bouncing around in there. So anyway, when that flashed through my mind, the next thought through my mind is, hey, I took 100% responsibility for my life a long time ago. I know everything that has ever been created, manifest, or happened in my lifetime. I'm the one that's responsible for it. Nobody else. In fact, I think that when we come into this lifetime, I think we choose our own parents. That's another story. So we pick parents that will help us in the scenario that we're here to learn. And I had to take total responsibility for myself, my life, everything about it. So it ain't fair doesn't work. And as soon as that flashed in mind, it was gone. It was gone. And that's the one thing that I have learned through all of my dealings and self-hypnosis and working with hypnosis and working with other people. The things that I have manifested in my lifetime is inner peace. And I think that is worth more than all the money, all the things, houses, cars, and stuff like that, just to have that inner peace. In fact, Neville's SATs, state akin to sleep, that you do just before you go to sleep, doesn't work for me. I just lay down, I'm going, boop, there's nothing keeps me from going to sleep. I am not worried about anything that's happened today or anything that's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to take care of itself. And I'm at peace and I go to sleep. So how do you get over that? And like, again, this said, and I know I'm a hypnotherapist, so that's where it goes with me. But I know that hypnosis works faster. It is more direct. And basically, right now, most hypnosis is done over Zoom or some other kind of a tele-thing. Because when we went through the COVID thing a few years back, couldn't get together. So people came up with doing it over Zoom. And it works really good. It works as good as being face-to-face. There's some things you can't do over Zoom where you have to be basically touch or do things that you'll see people do to get somebody into a hypnosis trance. And the thing I'm here to tell you, the other thing is that all hypnosis is 100% self-hypnosis. You do it yourself. You can do it right now. You just don't understand it, how, but you do it every day. When you watch a movie on Netflix, you go into a trance. You're in a trance state. That is a form of hypnosis. What it is a form of concentration, and changes your concentration. Put yourself into a state of concentration where your conscious mind kind of takes a break. It doesn't go away any place. It's not like you forget who you are or anything like that. It just kind of goes over here someplace and does whatever it's doing. And then the gatekeeper goes away. So we can go straight into your subconscious mind, find out exactly what your belief systems are that are holding you back, and then replace them. Anything that you, they say take out, you never take anything out. What we do basically in hypnosis is it makes it emotionally a different perception for you. Because right now something triggers like the life ain't fair type thing like that. You go into that turns into a loop, and you're right back where you started from, and you're not accomplishing anything. So if you take that aside, if you set that aside, then you replace it with something else in suggestion. You put the positive in there. And that's everything that's agreed with you before you do it. So, I mean, hypnosis is the most phenomenal thing I've ever had in my life as far as just figuring out how to live life. It's phenomenal. And I'm very happy to work with whoever, if you feel like you need that. The best way to get in touch with me right now is go to my YouTube channel. I've got an email there, and you can email me. I'm not a high-tech person, but I'm learning. I'm working on making a landing page. I don't know, website I don't really care about. A landing page where you can get to me and we get back and forth. That kind of thing is I'm working on. And again, I like doing this stuff myself, so it might take me a little bit while. And what I will do is once I get that set up, I'll come back and tag these earlier videos with that tag so that people get in touch with me. But I'd love to work with whoever, if you're having a real hard time with manifestation or just a hard time in life, anything that's really got you wrung out and drugged down and held down. Like I said, I used to be a very depressed person. That's gone. I used to be a very stressed person. That's gone. I've worked high stress jobs, high income jobs with a big ticket sales type stuff with a lot of stress and a lot of worry and a lot of, commission only. You don't know how much you're going to get paid ever. But see, I got rid of all that. I got rid of all that. There's no stress in my life, and I have absolute inner peace. And I'd like to help you do the same thing. Getting a little long here, so I'm going to take off. If you could, give it a like. Subscribe would be great. It helps us get out to people that need the information. Not that you don't, but if you just simply give it a like and subscribe, that really helps in the algorithms. You hear all that stuff. I'm learning algorithms too. Like I said, I'm not a high-tech person. I was not born with a cell phone in my hand. I remember pay phones and rotary dial phones. I think the calls were recorded. They weren't a dime. No, they may have been a dime when I was a kid. Yeah, they were. Phone calls were a dime on the pay phones, then they went to a quarter. So that was a while back. But be glad to help anybody that needs the help. Give me a buzz on the email. And I'll get some more videos out here. I've been a little busy lately, and I've kind of put it off, but I'm going to get more out. Come on back. Love to have you back. Thanks for stopping by. You have a good one.